level best to talk every word which can be sort of traced back to the authority of people who have attained the highest in the path of Kirtan. It is said that Kirtan can be used or encashed for anything we want in this life. And anything we want in this life, let me put it as needs. In the country where I come from, they classify that into 4 categories. And I believe some of the American psychologists like Maslow and Carl Jung pretty much followed the same model, but we beg to differ in a few details. And the ideas which I am talking about is at least 5,000 years old in India. So it works, you see. It has sustained the ravages of time. And the 4 categories of human needs are split into physical needs, and the Indian term for physical needs is called kama, you see. And the word sutra along with it is very famous in America. The second category is what is called as prosperity or a sense of security. It's called artha. The third classification is called dharma, and I'm sure it's a very familiar term to people who are interested in Kirtan. And the fourth term is called moksha. Moksha means freedom. So the needs can be sort of classified as needs which are demanded by the physical frame, which is hunger, thirst, necessity to procreate and the rest. That's called kama. And the second set of needs are called artha, which means a sense of security that tomorrow is going to be fine. The third set of requirements or needs are called dharma, which loosely translated is values we stand for. And the fourth set is a sense of freedom, a sense of love, because love and freedom are 2 sides of the same coin. Unless we really feel free, love is not possible. And people who are in that state of love actually feel free. It's called prema. So, the good news is Kirtan can get all the 4. Bad news is we have the choice, you see. Kirtan, if I can use a very modern example, is like a credit card. You can swipe it to get your needs met. It works. And we use Kirtan as a part of prayers to even help people cure as healing, you see. Can be done. It works. And Kirtan can be used for prosperity. Kirtan can be used for enhancing a sense of security. Kirtan can be used to effecting transformation to make us more value-based in our heart, truthful, compassionate, and the rest. And Kirtan can also be used to set us free and help us taste that love, drink in deep into the fountainhead of love, which is our true nature. So Kirtan can give all the 4. And the only problem is, unfortunately, there is this free will or a choice to use the Kirtan for any of one of these 4s. And in our place, they put this order beautifully. They say, first of all, the physical needs have to be met. If we have diseases, if we are hungry, if we are thirsty, Kirtan may not be possible for most of us. But there are exceptions, you see. Saints, for example, in India. Secondly, value is not possible until we feel secure. If we have this sense of financial insecurity, it is very difficult to sustain a sense of value in our heart. We tend to cut corners. We tend to rationalize what we do. And then values themselves prepare us for the final step, which is love, which is freedom. And the beauty is, Kirtan is used to go the entire journey. Kirtan is the means, Kirtan is the end. So when you say Kirtan path, I love that name when I saw it. It is a path which leads to joy, step over step over step. The whole problem with misery, as our Dharma calls it, is we separate means and end, you see. For example, if I am preparing for exams, I prepare for exams. Preparation is not a very nice thing to do. The results are the nice things if I write nicely. And the Kirtan path encourages us to fuse the means and the end. If love is the final end we are all looking for, joy is the final end we are looking for, this path of Nam Kirtan or singing the divine names is the path, is the end. Every step we take, every name we take brings us the joy, brings us the sense of love. So it is in fact a very unique path. There are a million paths to attain divinity, you see. Nobody has the copyright for any single path. There are universal paths. But the uniqueness of this path of bhakti or uniqueness of this path of kirtan is, it is the means, it is the end. And the simple example we can think of is learning to swim, you see. If you have a swimming pool and if you are like me, I would at best allow half of my hand to enter the swimming pool, no more. Because I am terrified of losing control in a swimming pool. And when you are learning to swim, we have to make the choice of entering the pool. A lot of cajoling needs to be done. Many people have to dangle a carrot to say, you learn swimming, I'll give you something else. And somehow we get into the pool, and first they give us something to hold on to, and we sort of paddle around with a little, what do you call it, lifeboat or something. And then the trainer says, let go and start paddling. The water can sustain you. The water can make you stay afloat. That's a big step, isn't it? And when you take that step, you suddenly discover, actually I don't have to hold on to anything else. This water is sufficient to make me float. And then I slowly, reluctantly paddle around. I learn swimming. It takes a lot of effort. It takes a lot of care, caution. But over time I enjoy swimming. I am so good in swimming that I actually start swimming effortlessly. And then I start experimenting with my swimming styles. Could be freestyle or a breaststroke or a, butterfly stroke and all that. And I thoroughly enjoy my swimming. Now I don't need any other inspiration or motivation to swim because I enjoy swimming. You see what I'm saying? This is how kirtan is. To start with, at least in India, they say, do kirtan, you will attain freedom, you see. And people said, yes, I'm using it as a path to get somewhere. And if you use a path to get somewhere, then the path may not be always enjoyable. Why? Because I'm worried more about the destination than walking the path. But over time, as we walk down the path, we get the sense of joy looking at the various trees in the park, the lovely chirping of birds, the gentle sway of wind, and then you say, wow, this journey itself is enjoyable. And now you hope, I hope the journey never ends, you see. And that is the path in kirtan. So if you go to these adepts, these people who are in that sense of love, they don't want freedom, They don't want to escape rebirth. They say, let me be born again and again. When I have tasted this deep divine love, who is afraid of birth or who is afraid of death? So that's the state of the poems of all these great mystics who attain the highest just by chanting the divine name. See? So that is the unique path of kirtan, the means and the end. And the moment we realize it, then it is like a walk in a park, you see. We love every moment of kirtan, and what we attain becomes secondary. What we enjoy while we sing becomes primary. And that's when something mysterious happens. A window opens and a fresh breeze of love enters our heart. Expectations cease. Enjoying the moment starts. And that's when we become the true lovers of God. And that's the main or the only way to get there is what we are doing right now. Kirtan, you see, the lovely names of the Lord. And kirtan, when it is done as an offering of gratitude, brings in transformation immediately. Let me give you a small example, a quick example. Many times I go to people's home and I said, who built this house? They said, we built it, you see. Then I asked them, did you lift a cement bag? No. Did you lift a brick? No. Did you paint the wall? No. All the contractors came and did it. Yet we say, I built this house, you see. Then I asked them, what did you do to say that I built this house? The answer is, I ordained it, you see. I sort of commanded, let the house be built here. And so it is my house. Why? Because I gave the command, I gave the ordinance. And then we ask the next question, to whom did you build it for? He says, what a stupid question. If I have built the house, if I ordained the house is for me because the house runs by me, you see. Many of these great saints pondered over this example and they say, the eye see because there is a divine spark in the heart. When the spark leaves, eyes remain in the ice box, you see, but eyes can't see. Ears remain, but it can't hear. The tongue remains, it can't taste. The skin remains, it can't feel. There is this divine spark inside. You call it God, you call it soul. We don't differentiate that in India. So when you do that, we find that the eyes are working because of God within, because of my Krishna within, because of my Shiva within. My ears are listening because of my Krishna within, because of my Shiva within. My skin is feeling because of the Shiva and Krishna within. So this little body, which is the home, is working by the ordinance of Shiva and Krishna within me. Right? So the corollary to that is, if it is working because of Krishna, for whom is it working for? You see, the answer is, it needs to work for him. The cause of all this working is Krishna. So these have to work for Krishna. Finish. And that is a fundamental principle of gratitude. You see, the fact that I can see something, I owe it to the divine spark within me, because the mat cannot see, this bulb cannot see, but I can see because there is a conscious principle within me. I call it Krishna or Shiva. I see because of Krishna. So I want to see Krishna as much possible, you see. I hear because of Shiva or Krishna, so I want to hear the names of Shiva or Krishna as much possible. I talk because of Shiva or Krishna, and so I need to talk about him as much possible. So because I have this faculty of speech, I want to channelize it as a sense of gratitude to give back to divinity what he has given me. At least once. At least 1 in 100, you see, at least a portion of it, which is what I am doing when I am doing kirtan. In that comes humility. In that bhav comes prema, because gratitude and love are just 1 micron apart, you see. If you are welling up in gratitude, already the doors of love has been opened. It's just a matter of few seconds before love gushes in. Gratitude and love are two sides of the same coin. If we can feel that gratitude for divinity deep in our heart, then kirtan has done its purpose. Because I am not singing so that I can see Krishna sometime in future. I am singing because I have been bestowed with this faculty of speech. I owe it to Krishna for that. So as a sign of gratitude to give something back to him, I am singing. In that gratitude, that which is beyond words, that which is beyond thoughts, that which we call love, comes in. Love is always inexplicable, you see. One of the greatest Upanishads in our Hindu scriptures, they say, I'm going to talk about something which is beyond speech. See, a lovely disclaimer, isn't it? I'm going to talk about something which you can't think of. I'm going to talk about love. And then we say, what is the point talking about all this? It says that I'm going to talk about something which cannot be explained, but which can be experienced. You see what I'm saying? There is a difference between understanding and experience, right? Kirtan has nothing to do with this. It has everything to do with this. That's why it's called Anubhava, or experience. And if we can sing with gratitude, we have experienced the highest, which is love. And that is the beauty in the path in which we are all going together as one family of people who are loving our beloved God day in and day out, serving him. Kirtan is service, you see. Many people say, do I do service or kirtan? And I ask them, what's the difference, you see. When I have hands and legs, I serve. When I have my voice, singing is a service to divinity. And that's also divine service. And that is the fortune we are all being bestowed with, to do kirtan together. And fellowship is always good, it reinforces, and we should at any cost not lose this fellowship. It's called satsanga in India, and that is something rare to come by. And if you go through the Purana called Bhagavatam, after realizing God, people are praying for fellowship, you see. So his fellowship is not for God. After having the God experience, many of those saints and sages pray to God, give me the fellowship of people who are like-minded in the love towards Kirtan. So, I am so fortunate and privileged to be with you all. Let me tell you, I am also a wayfarer, enjoying my journey of Kirtan. And I'm glad to see you all today and participate in the Kirtan with you all. I can immediately connect with you all because I can exactly feel what you're feeling. And it's lovely. Thank you. Radhe Radhe.
If anyone has an immediate question, please ask. Otherwise, we have time. We'll sing for another 20 minutes or so, and then we'll have time to socialize too. If anything burns in your heart, ask it now.
Can you talk a little bit about how pronunciation, when you're chanting, there's no rules. It's more of the bob of the feeling of what you're saying, not necessarily pronouncing it correctly. Because sometimes in the West we get hung up on being able to say the Sanskrit correctly.
Okay. There are two types of chants. I am talking from a very strictly traditional Sanatan Dharma. I allow you to either take it or not take it, you see. But it's my duty to tell the tradition, okay? Don't get me wrong, I am repeating what the wise men say in India. There is something called mantra, and there is something called nama. Right? You heard about mantra. And let me give you a pop quiz right now. I can also ask questions, right? Any of you know the meaning of the word mantra? They get a special prize. Not you! Not you! Yeah, we will come to you later. Yes.
The protection of the mind.
Beautiful. She has earned her Hershey right now, you see. Mantra is a Sanskrit word, manana trayate iti mantraha, which means that sound, if you keep repeating, protects your mind. That's what is mantra, right? And nama is the divine name, isn't it? So, the mantra is, like Gayatri mantra is a mantra. And since I come from a traditional background, pronunciation matters a lot when it comes to mantra. But when it comes to Govinda, Gopala, Shiva, pronunciation is absolutely not mandated. The bhav is more important there. Our scriptures are split into two, Vedic and the auxiliary scriptures. The Vedic scriptures, primary stuff is pronunciation. Bhav is secondary, you see. There are many stories in our own, I won't call it mythology, I don't like that name, in Puranas, which says when you misspell a mantra, even if the bhava is right, well, we can't assure you of the effect, right? But for Nam, no problem. You say Goinda, like many of our villagers, they can't say Govinda, they say Goinda, 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 you see. Everyone is happy. So they completely get the grace. So Nam has no rules. Mantra may have rules. The only bridge between Nama and Mantra is the Maha Mantra which I have written here. It is both the Mantra and the Nam, so pronunciation does not matter. So if you come from a very traditional school of thought of Kirtan in India, they say these mantras may have a little restrictions. Nam, Kirtan, no problem. Just chant whichever way we want. Not even one little restriction is there for Nam. You can do it whichever way you want. You see, that's the beauty of it. I hope I answered. To give you a small example, Kirtan is like your snail mail address, mantra is like your email address. You don't dash a T, it will never reach you. Snail mail will go around a bit and it will come finally. So don't worry about it. So for Kirtan which you are doing out here, don't even worry about pronunciation. Worry more about connection with the divinity, which is what you are doing. I'm so happy. In India, we are very shy to even move our hands when we do chanting. I think I need to send a batch of guys here to see you all. I enjoy the chant here. We are all doing Hare Rama, Hare Rama. No, just, yeah. That's what it is. Thank you for the question. It's a lovely question.
Can you speak at all about dealing with suffering in the world and how to rise above it?
When you say suffering, you mean personal suffering or impersonal suffering?
Both. Yes.
Oh, that's a big order.
Can we do it during dinner?
Mm-hmm.
Yes, because I'm sure I need to understand that better. Some can be personal, so I don't want to sort of open it up.
You can speak personal to me, that's fine.
Yeah, so then we have two of us to discuss after, the kirtan. Yes,
I have a question.
my
You
goodness.
talked about
I didn't plan this one though, I came. I'm as surprised as you all.
Because
I don't want to put you in the spot, but
I love the butt, you see.
I want to understand, you talked about having the eyes, ears, nose,
Yeah,
and various sense organs, and this is due to the divine divinity.
yes,
And as a gratitude of having these senses, we are singing the kirtan.
yes, yes.
But there are unfortunate people who have some of these senses missing,
Yes,
like no eyes,
Yes.
no ears.
yes.
How would you explain the divinity portion of that particular aspect?
You did that right? Oh, not you. It was in Malaysia. What we did in Malaysia was, because there were people who could not hear and who could not sing, we gave them braille portion of our kirtans. And while they were feeling for the braille portion, their mind was actually taking those sounds within their head. We did that in Malaysia. And for those people who could not see, we gave them audio tapes so that they can listen and sort of at least mentally repeat even if they could not repeat it outside. Right? And since you asked that question, it's all the more important that we, being bestowed with these faculties, need to feel even more grateful and do the kirtan with even more intensity.